One thing I've realized is that it's not about being a bitch to be successful in business. It's really about having boundaries. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, hey, it is Zaylee Barclay, and I'm coming to you with another entrepreneur chat, business chat, whatever we call it on this channel. Today, I want to talk about the fact that when I first started in business, in the online space, I thought I had to be this big, powerful, bitchy person in order to be successful. And I think that kind of came from just seeing other girl bosses in the online space. I felt like when you looked at the people that had grown significant audiences and gotten to significant places, that they were kind of stoic and very much didn't talk to everyone, and like just all of the kind of like, y'all know, there are like those mean girl brunches and such out there, like things like that. I thought that was what confidence looked like, and I spoke about confidence in another video. I will link it somewhere above or down in the description box, but that was one of the things that I thought, right? Boy, oh boy, did I learn a lot along the way. One being that if that's just not naturally who you are, you don't have to try or pretend to be that in order to be successful. But now I kind of understand that it wasn't that they were bitchy or, didn't speak to anyone else because they held themselves to a certain standard or any of those things. It probably was that they understood boundaries and understood, just like what made sense for them. They were just very probably protective of their energy. I'm not saying that all those people in those spaces are healed or, and I don't even like to say healed because I feel like we're all on a healing journey as long as we're living and breathing, because life is just always lifing or life is just always happening. But I feel like it probably is some sense of boundaries and understanding what they would and would not stand for. So let me just go way back and say that this is coming from a person who my trauma, I know we don't like that word, or things I've gone through in life, the result of those things, one of them was me being a people pleaser. Oh my gosh. And I had to learn this lesson in business. Like, I don't have to, this is the one, this is the word right now. I don't have to be nice in order to be a good person. Whew. You've probably heard me say this before, or if you have not, understanding this opened up a lot for me. You don't have to be nice to be good. So a nice person is probably always thinking about, does this person think I'm nice, or does that person think I'm nice, or nice being like, really just people pleasing, right? I'm a good person. I know that I'm a good person. I act as if I'm a good person, but I'm not concerned with who thinks I'm nice or who doesn't think I'm nice, right? I could be a good person without being a nice person all of the time. Now, listen, it doesn't mean I don't have manners. It doesn't mean I don't treat people with the utmost respect. It doesn't mean that I'm giving and caring. All of those are characteristics of me being a good person naturally by default. But I remember a time in my journey where I felt like I had to be nice, and I would worry about how people were perceiving me all the time in business, which would then turn into doing things to make sure that people understood I was nice. Example, if a brand asked me to do something, right, or to create a piece of content, and I gave them a specific price, if a bigger influencer than me gave a lesser price for the same thing, I would start panicking because I would feel like I'm not nice, right? Because, and this is not right by any, remember, I'm just sharing with you guys like things that I've processed and understood over time. But it would bother me. I would be like, oh my gosh, they probably don't think I'm nice, or don't think that they would want to work with me. Listen, they will work with you. They will pay you whatever you desire. And even if that bigger influencer is doing it for $400 and I'm doing it for $1,500, listen, as a small business owner, it costs me more, or it might cost me more to do the same thing that somebody else is doing. Or my business goals might be different from somebody else's business goals. And this has happened, by the way, which is why I'm saying that. But in essence, I started understanding boundaries more and more as I went along my business journey. And boundaries meaning, oh girl, let's Google boundaries because we need a definition. Okay, let me see. So personal boundaries, this is Wikipedia. Maybe I should get this reference from somewhere else, but Wikipedia says personal boundaries, or the act of setting boundaries, is a life skill that has been popularized by self-help authors and support groups since the mid 1980s. I feel like I was born then. Like, why didn't anyone teach me about boundaries when I was a kid? In the Caribbean, they would say a kid doesn't need boundaries, right? But they do. Anyway, I digress. It is the practice of openly communicating and asserting personal values as a way to preserve and protect against having them compromised or validated. So when I first started my business, I didn't have any boundaries, especially for clients and customers. And that can look like you can email me at 1 a.m. and I'm answering. I'm not saying I did that, but I'm not saying I did that, but I had some horrible situations based off of not having any boundaries. I remember one time I had a client who asked me for my phone number. Now, I was available by email to her all the time. She asked me for my phone number right there and then on a face-to-face call. And then she said, don't worry, I would never call you at a weird time. Or I wouldn't call. She told me she would never call me. Girl. She called me right after she got the number, right? And she's like, I was just trying to see if it would work or whatever. And so just listen, that whole situation was boundaryless on my end, right? I was designing her website. She would go in and completely redo the whole website after I had probably stayed up all night doing a specific page. She would redo it the day after, move things around and break things, and then come back and tell me, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I broke this while I was redesigning it. Why are you redesigning it? And I am the person that's designing it. Like, if you don't like something, tell me you don't like it. Don't go try to redesign the whole page yourself. It was horrible. So that project was one of the worst projects that I've ever had. And I think after that project, I really decided that I needed to implement boundaries into everything that I did. And it took a while for me to realize a simple boundary might be giving someone a date where XYZ is going to be done on this date, but also giving myself enough time to complete whatever it is so that I'm not stressed out that the date for delivery is coming along too quickly and I didn't give myself enough time in order to complete it, or feeling like I have to update someone every day until that date came. Man, like I just had lots of things that I would do that were not called for. And oh my gosh, I was reading Ryan Serhant's book called Big Money Energy recently, and he spoke about work PTSD, right? So work PTSD could be like you had a job, and at that job you probably messed something up or didn't do something correctly, or you were always in trouble at work, and because of that you took that PTSD elsewhere, like everywhere. And so you're presenting yourself as someone who, is anxious and nervous all the time about messing up. And you speak about yourself in that way too, right? Now, for me, I didn't have work PTSD specifically, but I do know that after working with that client where I didn't have boundaries earlier on, I moved on to other projects with that same thinking, because she was very much that boss that micromanages. She was. And for me, I felt like because she was paying me a lot of money that things were supposed to be that way, right? It's crazy not realizing. So like not too long after that, I had my first perfect client. I told her, she wanted me to do something. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember exactly what she did, but she was the sweetest person ever. I charged her what I felt like I should have charged her at that time, which was a lot. and she paid it with ease. And the work that I did was so effortless, and like it was so easy. It was the easiest money at that time that I'd ever made on one project. And I think that project probably came up to like $20,000. It was done, I want to say, in probably 3 weeks. And she was so nice. She was such a beautiful person. She sent me a bottle of champagne to my house because I agreed to work with her. Like it was so crazy. Like it was so crazy, like thinking about it. But I was able to experience that kind of relationship. Like she never even bothered me. Like I would have to literally chase her to get her into a meeting in a good way. She was not a micromanager. She was not like, just all of the things that the nightmare client that I had some time before her was, and would speak about me all the time, would bring me new business. Like she was very well connected in the industry. I should say is very well connected in the industry. And it's so crazy because working with her showed me what it was supposed to feel like, having boundaries, doing work that you actually enjoyed doing, not having to be a bitch, because she wasn't a bitch either. It's just the people that pay you the least are the people that will micromanage you, that will challenge your pricing, that will and it's because of their own thinking, right? Like I felt like what she was doing was helping people to be their best selves, and she wasn't being her best self. That's the part that is like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I definitely had some PTSD after that situation. And of course I could have, to tie this all back up, assumed a role of being scarred and now being a bitch, but that's just not who I am, right? I'm a good person. So my other client, in essence, kind of showed me what it was like to be a good person, have a lot of money, give someone the control that you're paying them to take on, allowing someone to do their best work, allowing them to guide you because you are the expert. It's just crazy how we start seeing a difference in people and clients. And so for me, what I did was, when I ended up working with that client, I assigned her in my business as my dream client, right? She was the dream person that I had worked with. And so I was able to kind of manifest other work based on her. So I never had another client like the nightmare client that I was speaking about before. And I was able to keep attracting like dream clients, people that were sure they wanted to work with you, people that were excited to work with you, excited to let you lead and guide them. And funny, because now even in consulting, I'm able to do the same thing. So I no longer do services. I still do consulting for corporate. And even working on the project that I'm working on now, it's so effortless and fun, and I work with good people. And so I think that sometimes when we start out, if we don't have boundaries and we don't know what a dream client is like, especially when you have boundaries, because when we don't have boundaries, we're afraid to lose. We let people do anything to us because we don't want to lose money, or we don't want to lose people or lose clients or customers. But when you have the experience of understanding, you can still be a good person. You don't have to be a bitch, but you can have boundaries to protect yourself and your work and your energy. And you can kind of think about like a dream client situation. You are able to then attract those people. And I'm just here to tell you that you can attract your dream client. You can attract clients like that. And so for me, in being able to attract dream clients like that, I was able to sign bigger contracts, do more work that was in alignment and effortless and made me happy and kept me happy, like attract better people to work with. And so if you are in a place where you either don't have any boundaries and you're operating in lots of fear, I'm here to tell you that it's possible to have a dream client, to live in abundance, to sign huge contracts that you never thought that you could. I'm here to tell you that you can. if you are a person that is signing huge contracts but you're burnt out and you're tired, I'm here to tell you that it is possible to work with dream clients to where you are able to enjoy what it is you do and really work with people that you love. For me, I know sometimes I put a lot on my plate. So that's another thing that you kind of have to look out for. If you know that you're putting too much on your plate, and you're burnt out, because I do that sometimes. I'll put a lot on my plate and I will think my work is burning me out. When I really sit and look at it, I'm like, girl, no. This client is not burning you out. You're burning yourself out because you're doing too much. However, I don't want to keep rambling on this video, but I just want to tell you that it is possible. Whatever you desire is possible. I think we just have to know what the other side looks like. So I wanted to make this video to tell you that you can be a great person, you can make a lot of money, and be careful of how nice you are, or nice you are thinking that, or hoping that people think you are. Just be a good person, be honest, and love what you do. It's possible to live in abundance loving what you're doing. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.